Good day there creatives, welcome to another tutorial with T-Bams. So today we are going to be making this knotted loop cap. In this cap, the materials we'll be needing are as follows. We'll be needing our poly fabric, a sunray fabric, the ones with lines effect, the scissors, fiber, and a machine to sew. So firstly, I'm going to measure the base of the cap, which is the body of the cap. So I have here 24 inches long because it's going to be a pleated band, a pleated cap, by 12 inches on fold for the head circumference. Please measure your head circumference or use 12 inches. Then when you are done, you measure your head circumference away from the measurement. So I have 24 inches by 12 inches on fold. It can as well be 24, but make sure you cut your head circumference on the stretchy part of the fabric. So I'm going to be measuring 2 inches intervals, then I'm going to sew. So 2 inches intervals in 24 inches would give me 12 places. So I'm going to sew it from the beginning to the end right there. Okay, so now I want to show us how we can stitch it for those of us that are beginners and want to learn. You can decide in cutting it out, or you can decide in leaving it like this for stitching. So you just continue like that. You see I've folded in the 2 inches, then I'm sewing on 0.25, not 0.5, 0.25, and as you sew you stretch. As you sew you stretch, just like the way I'm doing. As you sew you stretch, then you back stitch your stitches, then you cut out. So I'm going to be doing that till I get to 12 pieces of it. So if you are not cutting out, this is also one very good method I recommend. So from the other sewing which you have, you just measure another 2 inches again, then you continue like that till you get to the end. So now let's move to the band. So for the band also, I have the same 24 by 4 inches. I'm sorry, I mean 12 inches on fold, that's 24 inches. Cut along the stretching part by 4 inches. That's my band. It can be round, it can be V. So let's go to the knotted design. So I folded it into like this because it's kind of long. So I cut out the sunray fabric and also a poly fabric to give it volume. So I have on fold 21 inches. You can have zero use 20 inches because we are still going to cut out some excess. So that's 21 inches on fold in the widthwise, then 11 inches long. So I cut that also for my poly as well, the same measurement for it. So I'm going to place it just the way you see me placing it, like this, making sure your front of the front side is outside, then of the sunray is outside, then you fold it in half like that, then run a straight stitch all through. Okay, so now I've run the straight stitch and I've turned it inside out. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is to cut in my fiber, and my fiber is not the cut out fiber, is the fiber that are together, and I have I cut out 5 inches wide. Then I push it inside the fabric. I'm just using a stick to push it in. You can use your hand, you can use any object or anything that you find convenient for you. Then you make sure it is flat and not folded inside the fabric. Then now you have to set and make sure it is flat and not folded. We don't need it to be folded, we need it flat. So that's another thing to consider when doing it. Okay, so we are almost there. We are almost there. Just make sure you set it properly so it would give you a nice effect, because if it is folded inside it, you might not like the outcome of it. So I'm trying to turn that part roll and set it. Okay, so can you see the fiber is not going to be reaching the tips of it? Well, knowing fully well that we are still going to cut off some pieces. So I've joined my band to my body, and see, just watch the way I placed it. You can just rewind it to watch it. See, the fabric was down, the knotted fabric was down, then I placed the band in between, the body of the cap in between, then I give it a knot. You can just rewind it to watch that part again. So I'm now going to be stitching my cap. Mind you, I've made a knot already on the cap, so just leave it that way. Then on your band area, take your measurements, then you can just stitch on 0.5, but make sure it is firm enough. You stitch all through, you push the sunray knot inside, you stitch till you get to the other side. So I've stitched it like that, and I've also stitched the inside, so leaving this side just the way. So leaving this side just the way it is, I've stitched it. So I'm going to turn it inside out now, and I'm going to adjust my knot properly. You can as well sew the cap first, then leave a like 2 inches, or just like the way we do our loop. Yes, then you will now fix in your sunray material, or you do it the way I did it at first. So you have to make sure is the center of the knot, is the center of the fabric you are knotting from, or you keep adjusting it. So and then you have to make sure the line part is facing inside the cap, just like that. So just place it like that. Make sure you adjust the knot to be well seated. Now the size of your knot depends on it. You can make the knot of 8 inches, you can make the knot of 10 inches. No, this is 11 inches. So I'm going to be cutting off some excess after measuring what I have, and I saw I have excess. So I'm still having some excess though, but I'm going to stitch it. Now I'm going to fold it like this to the upside, then stitch on 1 inch. So now I've stitched it, and this is it. So I'm going to be stitching it to the cap, but this way you can use your hand needle or your machine, but I used my machine for this. So you can just watch the process. I just placed it like that, then I stitch on my machine down. I've stitched it down already using my machine. I just made a straight stitch like that. So you can do it on both sides or just on one side. So I'm going to start gathering the cap from after the knotted part to this other angle. I'm not going to take it to the other side, just a straight gathers. So here is the final look of the knotted cap. So neat and so fine. So I'll be expecting yours also. Thank you and God bless you.